Seagal are the world's biggest and largest action stars of all time. Scholars have debated for decades who really is the best.
Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme actually is the best. So that's it. Yeah, we're gonna watch the Mr. G video in a second.
Today, we settle the debate once and for all by pitting Van Damme's hard target against Steven Seagal's marked for death in a completely objective and unbiased 12-round matchup. May the best.
How the fuck does his hair stand like that? Like, I tried and it never was. I was never able to get my hair to stand like that when I had long hair.
Man or Seagal win. Round 1, the better hair. In Hard Target, the very first shot of Van Damme we see is a close-up of that glorious mullet. It is a science fact that his hair is so hypnotic that for the movie to make any sense, you have to watch all scenes where his hair makes an appearance multiple times for your brain to piece together what's happening in your peripheral vision.
Okay,
Trust
hair-wise,
me, lady, I know just how you feel.
It's incredible, it's beautiful, it's glorious.
In Marked for Death, Seagal has his trademark ponytail that's by far the most memorable thing about his entire career.
Awful.
What's most important.
Oh God, I just realized I had the Steven Seagal hair. I tried to have the fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme hair and I only had the Steven Seagal hair. Oh Jesus Christ, that's so bad.
Impressive is how it manages to be his single greatest trait while at the same time still being really fucking stupid.
Give me a break.
Point Van Damme. Round 2, the better runner. Not only does Van Damme run with the sheer grace of a white-tailed deer, but also so.
Okay, this is only making me want to watch Marked for Death, by the way, because, like, God, I do want to go through a lot of, like, 80s, 90s action flicks, because I feel like they were so good.
Fast that the friction causes.
Like, they literally used more regular fucking practical effects, and they used more, like, real fucking fighting sequences instead of the Marvel shit that's, like, softened and lets editing do the rest. Back then they did, when, you know, in comparison to now. Not that it matters for Steven Seagal because he never did it, so it doesn't really matter, but
everything behind him to burst into flames. But that's not all. While running, he also does spontaneous twist flips. He doesn't even mean to do it. It just
that's
happens.
insane. Why did he do that?
Seagal heard the criticism of his running in Above the Law, and even though he felt betrayed by the mockery he received.
Oh, dude, yeah, this is famous. This is like the first and last time Steven Seagal ever actually runs in a movie, right? You rarely ever see him run. He's like, yeah, you guys think it's funny that I run funny? Well, you know, I'll gain 60 pounds and I'll never run again.
Just for showing his feminine side, he vowed to do better, and boy did he. In Marked for Death, he shows his ability to multitask and steer a pirate ship while in a full sprint.
What the fuck? Oh, he's still... Yo, why does he run like that?
Even though it's absolutely hilarious.
I've only seen the first one. I've only seen the first... I've only seen the first movie where he runs. I'd never seen the other one.
It's also completely embarrassing. Point Van Damme. Round 3, the story. Both movies have incredible stories that scholars are still discovering deeper meanings to this very
That's
day.
fire. He made the fucking he hit the snake so hard it went unconscious, dude. Yo, this fucking guy. How did they come up with this shit, bro? Run it back. We gotta run it back.
Still discovering deeper meanings to this very day. Hard Target is an inspirational tale about Van Damme sticking up for the little guy. Like Vietnam War vets, women with crazy eyebrows, and
That's just like 80s, 90s though. Like that shit was that was the titties back then. It's actually still the titties now. It like came back.
pigeons.
Hey, pigeon.
Marked for Death is about Seagal shooting random women and children.
My baby!
What?
Or some shit. Who fucking cares? It's incoherent dog shit. Point Van Damme. Round 4, the better co-star. In Marked for Death, Keith David partners up
To be fair, Keith David is the GOAT, so he might Steven Seagal might actually get this one.
with Seagal and plays an old army buddy of his in what I assume were the Special Forces. Despite that, Seagal doesn't allow him to do anything during action scenes, so he either just looks around lost, hides out until the action is over, or is forced to wait in the car so Seagal can take all the credit. In Hard Target, Van Damme takes the diabetic guy from Cocoon and turns
What?
him into a total badass. He makes Hawkeye look like a bitch as he shoots explosive arrows.
What? Okay, Keith David's
and
better though.
yells incoherently while he rides around on his horse like a drunken man.
Okay, the irony of this is that guy does more action than Steven Seagal does in his entire career in one fucking movie. Where mama at?
Madman. He's such a fucking boss that he blows up his own house just to fuck with the bad guys. Near the very end, he gets stabbed in the chest, but is saved by his rampant alcoholism.
This real catastrophe.
Fuck yeah. 5 points, Van Damme. Round 5, the better villains. In Marked for Death, the main villain is a Jamaican drug dealer who goes by the name Screwface.
And I everywhere.
I'm serious, that's his name.
What?
If that's not bad enough, there's actually 2 Screwfaces who are secret twins.
Kill me, brother.
Oh yeah, they also do voodoo.
Oh, dude, of course. Of course. The 2 screw faces is like classic. Again, you got to write like a plot twist and you couldn't come up with anything. All of the Steven Seagal movies, plot twists literally come like they feel as though they just came up with it on the spot while they were filming. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, what if there was not 1 but 2 Jamaican voodoo guys? You know what I mean? Me want the punani. Steven Seagal, also Jamaican. The Caribbean voodoo gangster was a staple of the 80s, 90s action movies. Yeah. Why was that? I wonder what like the reason for that was. Was it just like regular old racism or what the fuck was the deal? Now, obviously, it's like regular old racism, but like, why specifically that? Do you know what I mean? Because like now, okay, post 2001, every movie, the enemies are Arabs, right, and Muslims. Early 90s to 2000s, every enemy is like usually every bad guy. Cold War, every enemy is Russian. And then like I would say 90s, early 2000s, every enemy is just black people in America. You know what I mean? Like regular black people. There was an era where they had, there was definitely an era where they had like like Serbs and shit too. It's just like whoever the State Department has like marked as the enemy to the public is oftentimes like the main enemy in movies. I'm not saying it's deliberate. So that's why I'm wondering like what the fuck was it specifically? Because you're right. There was like an 80s, 90s era where there was a lot of like Jamaican voodoo guys and shit that were like the scary Jamaican guy. Yeah, indiscernible Balkan villains, yeah.
How is this a real movie? In Hard Target, there are also two main villains, but neither of them are shitty. You have the fucking mummy himself, Emotep. He is one crazy fuck that cuts people's fucking ears off.
Ooh, that's
then
fire.
Straight up executes them in a public area in the middle of the day. He gives zero shits if anyone sees him.
Dude, that's fire. That's
Then you
fire.
have Lance Henriksen, who is so badass that his weapon of choice is a single-shot pistol that doesn't even have sights. Not only is he a man of culture, but he disassembles grenades that have been dropped in his pants instead of just throwing them back. Sure, it didn't work out for him, but man, that took balls. 2 points for Van Damme. Round 6.
-4 Seagal for no. Seagal has lost points now. What is happening?
The craziest kill. In Marked for Death, Seagal busts into this random guy's apartment for no reason and viciously attacks him.
Oh, come here. I just want to talk to you for a minute.
Then, this fucking weirdo who
Unbiased, by the way. Okay, this is definitely unbiased, okay? The fact that they're even matching up Van Damme against Steven Seagal means that there is like, it's unbiased. Because there is not a single planet. There's not a single planet where either of them could ever be compared, okay?
was doing who knows what in the bathroom comes out and attacks Seagal before being thrown onto the soft bed and apparently falling asleep or something. Then he wakes up and realizes it wasn't just a terrible nightmare and that he really is in a Seagal movie
That reminds you?
and does the right thing by jumping out the window. In Hard Target, there are so many badass crazy kills, but I'm going with this one, where he slides realistically across
this is a
the
famous-
ground before shooting the mummy 30 times.
This is a famous scene, isn't it?
In the fucking torso and then kicking him from the ground. A whole fuckload of points for Van Damme. Round 7, the best line. Whether Van Damme's giving a heartfelt story about where his name came from,
What kind of a name is Chance?
Well, my mama took one.
or outside
By the way, back in the day, another permanent staple was like the foreign white guy who just had like the deepest of accents. And you could have these motherfuckers star in movies, be the main hero, be the main character, or like objectively a gigantic person. It was so crazy that like indiscernible accents were such a thing that we had our very own version of that. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about Arnold. I'm not talking about Van Damme. I'm not talking about Dolph Lundgren or whatever it is. I'm talking about Sylvester Stallone, motherfucker. Like, that was so poppin' that we literally imported our own, okay? We imported our very own indiscernible fucking juiced up muscle hero. Adrian! Like, that's insane that we were just like, yo, that shit is so poppin'. We need to get a guy from Philadelphia. Any guy. Actually, is Sylvester Stallone from Philadelphia? I don't even know. I just, went with Rocky. Is he from New York City? My boy! I'm just saying, like, that was a very different era. You don't see that anymore. You don't have like motherfuckers. Everyone has like a common American dialect now. Most of the actors are British and Australian, but they all sound like they're from California. Meanwhile, back in the day, the fucking impossible to understand, massive, giant fucking juice lord, juiced out the wazoo, steroids through the fucking gills, that is impossible to understand, was so popular, we made our own version of it.
Sassing the sassy waitress.
How's that Dumbo, Chance?
A tragedy.
Van Damme is truly one of the greatest poets of our generation. In Marked for Death, it's all really fucking stupid, but I guess we'll go with this.
Put your hands where I can see them, I'm gonna blow your head off.
Where Seagal tries to arrest everyone without ever leaving his vehicle. It's important since it marks the beginning of Seagal saying, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do everything sitting down." Point Van Damme. Round 8, the most intimidating. In Marked for Death, Seagal kills one of the screw faces in Jamaica. Being the normal person that he is, he grabs his head and takes it with him. I don't know how he got it through customs, but when he tries to scare Screwface's men with it,
The evil is demolished.
it doesn't work at all. And he's been carrying a rotting human head around for days for no fucking reason.
Dude, what the fuck? Yo! They just immediately start blasting, dude, which of course they would. What is this fucking plot?
Good job, dipshit. In Hard Target, these hooligans are harassing Eyebrow Lady and steal her purse.
I got a little extra, huh?
They're about to learn just how fucking stupid that was. This guy shows off this adorable knife before getting absolutely embarrassed when
Another thing that went away that should stay, that should come back, cuffing your long sleeve jacket. Like, he has a duster on, and it's a long sleeve duster, obviously, and he cuffed it for no reason.
absolutely embarrassed when Van Damme brandishes the greatest weapon of mass destruction known to man. His fucking kicking leg that he immediately uses to wreck everyone.
If Steven Seagal tried to kick one time, he would immediately turn into dust, okay? He would turn into a cloud of Cheeto dust, motherfucker.
Shit. Point Van Damme. Round 9, better vehicle shootout. Hard Target gives us one of the grittiest and most heart-pounding vehicle shootouts of all time. Van Damme's trying to get away, but oh shit, the road's closed. Realizing it's a construction zone where all fines would be doubled,
Bro, he has this movie has a lot of iconic moments. I've actually never watched it, but I've literally seen half of these fucking scenes being discussed. Well, I mean, I guess it's because it's fucking John Woo, right? Is it John Woo?
no choice but to charge head on into the Chevy Suburban. He then makes himself appear larger, which instills fear into his enemies as he unloads on those poor sons of bitches.
Like, I remember this.
And then does a goddamn flip over the vehicle before landing and blowing it the fuck up. Fuck yeah. In Marked for Death, Seagal drives on a sidewalk and through a park like a goddamn lunatic and kills countless women and children. And for some inexplicable reason, half of the scene where he's chasing the bad guys, his vehicle is in front of theirs. Who the fuck is chasing who? None of this scene makes any goddamn sense.
What?
Point Van Damme. Round 10. Better fire.
Bro, he keeps lowering Steven Seagal's score too. He's at minus 16 now.
In Hard Target, Van Damme takes fire and makes it his bitch by constantly doing flips right through it. Not even the main villain has time for fire's shit, and when his entire jacket goes up in flames, he barely notices and doesn't take it off for what feels like forever.
What are you looking at?
Then they both get involved when Lance tries to hit Van Damme with a burning 2x4, and Van Damme just fucking grabs the part that's on fire like he doesn't give a fuck. In Marked for Death, Seagal gets trapped inside a car and completely loses his shit like a total coward.
What?
The car catches on fire and he suddenly forgets how doors work and tries to open them by slapping them with a limp wrist. Luckily, the director realizes this is fucking embarrassing and hard to watch and makes the hole bigger so he can get out of there and we can forget this ever happened. Point Van Damme. Round 11.
Limp wristing the door is choice, dude. Like, he was just like, I don't know what to do. What do you mean? Like, what? Just open the door. Why are you flailing around? What the fuck? That was camp, not gonna lie. Yeah.
The better henchmen. In Hard Target, the henchmen are numerous, highly trained, and well-equipped mercenaries that use brutal and efficient tactics.
Let me review the tactical situation for you, gentlemen.
To try and take down Van Damme. In Marked for Death, the henchmen are the fucking Jamaican Three Stooges.
Oh, they
Point
punched each other.
Van Damme. Final round.
That's unfair. They weren't the Three Stooges. It's just that Steven Seagal expertly Aikido'd them to hit each other. Minus 45, by the way.
Round 12. The weirdest shit. In Marked for Death, Seagal's buddy is brutally murdered during the final battle. They verify he's dead.
Sorry, man.
And have no choice but to go on without him. Then, after Seagal kills the leader, they're shown walking away and Seagal's just carrying his lifeless body. What the fuck are you doing? Where are you taking it? Who just walks around with a dead body like...
I mean, why not? He walked around with a decapitated head and literally shipped it overseas, so he might as well also walk around with his dead homie.
You're fucking newlyweds. We never find out because the credits just start rolling.
That's fire.
Our target has some pretty weird shit too. From Van Damme's special moment with a pigeon.
No, it's important to show that he, like, even animals naturally know that despite him being a predator, he's friends to the weak. Like a fragile bird that can't defend itself, Jean-Claude Van Damme is a friend to the bird. You know what I mean? That's important. That's an important thing to understand here. This is like truly a big part of the show.
To blowing bad guys away with a shotgun while riding a giant stork. To face punching a snake and biting off its rattle. All the weird shit in Hard Target is fucking awesome. 100 points, Van Damme. The final score is,
Minus
out of
70.
a possible 12 points, Van Damme 682, Steven Seagal negative 75. Which comes as a surprise, it didn't seem to be nearly that
Okay, this guy seems a little biased towards Steven Seagal.
close. Congratulations, Van Damme. You've once again proven that good will always triumph over lazy and stupid.
Yeah. He gave Steven more than I would have. Yeah, minus 75. Van Damme is too OP. Should compare Seagal with Stallone. Oh, dude, Sylvester Stallone still wins that, though. There is not a single fucking action movie person that Steven Seagal could actually beat toe-to-toe. Like, both in hand-to-hand combat or just overall vibes or just, like, movies that they've been in. Even like back in the day, like Chuck Norris and shit, you know what I mean? Like, Vin Diesel's better than Seagal. Yeah, I can't really think of a single fucking person that Steven Seagal actually beats. Okay, dude, that's fucked up. He said current Bruce Willis. My man has dementia, dog. Jesus Christ. And he still clears Steven Seagal, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, dementia, Bruce Willis clears Steven Seagal. Nick Cage, you can't even compare. What do you mean? Nick Cage clears Steven Seagal every day in his fucking sleep. All right. Now let's watch what the fuck happened to Steven Seagal. I've been waiting to watch this for a while now.
He's best buddies with Vladimir Putin,